Greetings everyone, Professor Pokemon here, and today I'm doing a video that I've thought about doing for a while. I said I was going to at first, but then with all that madness at the Capitol, this idea did not age well at all, having any video that separates Democrats and Republicans, but I only have 20 subscribers, so I'm just going to do it anyway. Speaking of only having 20 subscribers, some of my videos have gotten upwards of 60 views, so if you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button. I mean, you don't have anything to lose. And if you don't think this is the most clever video idea you've ever seen, you're probably right. But it's up there. Also, one more thing. As you can see in the thumbnail, this is just part one. Today, I'm only doing Kanto and Unova gym leaders because, frankly, I don't know enough about the gym leaders in many of the other regions. And I want to make this a 2 or 3 part. So yeah, just Kanto and Unova today. Alright, let's do it. And I'm not going to be including Giovanni, Brock, or Misty, because I think it would be too objective to have clear protagonists in one party and an antagonist in another, or like a mix of the two. I just don't want to do that for backlash reasons. So we'll be starting with Lieutenant Surge. And Lieutenant Surge's nickname in the American Red and Blue games is the Lightning American. And that just flat out says Republican to me because it's sort of, I don't know, patriotic, maybe even nationalistic. And it just really gives the idea of being a sort of Republican thing since he's a veteran who's really passionate about his country and, I guess, being a patriot. Next up is the Celadon City gym leader, Erica. And Erica's a grass-type gym leader, and all we really find out about her is that she has, a great love for really beautiful plants. That's pretty much it. Therefore, I'm going to put her in the green party because that's the one party where I feel like I can confidently put someone who this is all we know about them. Next is Sabrina, who's going to be a libertarian because she's just a crazy lady who turns people into dolls and has psychic powers. And that's really all we know about her. And that just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Side note, if this video seems at all stereotypical, you're absolutely right. I'm basically only going on political stereotypes or, certain beliefs that are associated with one party. And if you're offended by this video, I'm very sorry. Next up, we have another libertarian, but this one's a lot more chill about it and a lot cooler. So Koga is one of those off-the-grid, preparing for the end of the world kind of guys, and he's also a ninja, and he has the best dojo of, any gym leader, and, full of smog and all that. I just think libertarian. Next, we have Blaine, and Blaine's definitely a Democrat in my opinion, because he studies Pokemon fossils. And that alludes to the theory of there having been different Pokemon long ago and evolution over time, prehistoric era. And that's definitely a democratic belief in our society. Now moving on to the Unova region, and we're going to start with Silent, Chili, and Cress, who I'm going to say Democrat for all three because they're young, live in a big city, run a restaurant, and one of them is a Pokemon connoisseur. Having a fancy restaurant in a big city and being a connoisseur probably speaks more Democrat to me. Next up is Lenora, and I'm going to go ahead and say Democrat again because she runs a museum that focuses primarily on prehistoric Pokemon and fossils, which again is sort of an evolution thing that I see more as a Democrat sort of idea. And we're going to have another Democrat up next, that being Berg, the Castelia City gym leader. So Berg's a bug-type gym leader and also an artist and seems like a bit of a poet. And that just all seems like a Democrat thing to me. I think he's a cool guy, just sort of out there. Definitely Democrat. Next we have Elisa, and I'm going to have to say Democrat again because one thing that she's known for having done in the show is convincing Bianca's father to let her leave home. And this sort of seems like a liberal versus conservative idea scenario where Elisa was kind of on the Democrat side. Additionally, I don't know, she seems like, she's a woman in a big city, which I know is stereotyping, I'm sorry, but she just has more of a Democrat vibe, I guess. Next up is the one that I can say with most confidence is in a certain party, that being Clay as a Republican. So we all know Unova is based on the United States, and he's one of the biggest reasons we can see that, because, he's a Southern businessman in a cowboy hat. Which brings me to, he's a Southern businessman in a cowboy hat. He's obviously a Republican. Additionally, he makes his money in the mining industry, which is sort of a non-friendly to climate change area, and that really screams Republican to me. Next up, we're going to have another Republican, that being Skyla. So Scala owns an airport and runs sort of an import-export industry, and it's, not very climate change friendly, I guess. And I don't know, I just see the business as like more of a Republican thing. Next up is Bryson, and he's a pretty interesting guy. He was in filmmaking, then got hurt in it and stopped and became a trainer. And somewhere along the way concealed his identity a lot. And I don't know, I mean, we're getting a sort of a mix from both sides, so I'm just going to say independent. Next up, we have a very interesting one, that being Drayden. And so Drayden seems like Republican at first, and not just because he's an old white man in a suit, even though he is, but because he has a really harsh demeanor and runs that school like it's a military base. However, he is the mayor of Opelousas City, and Opelousas City is based on Harlem, which is in fact a blue area. Therefore, they would probably elect a blue mayor. So I can't really decide on this one. I think I'm going to go with Republican, but I just wanted to throw that out there for, for knowledge sake. Next up is Roxy, and it was hard to decide on this one because I could see her as like a really democratic kind of social activist type person, or as just a totally off the grid kind of singer who doesn't care about any of that. In the end, I decided to go with libertarian because she has, that underground bass, poisons everything in sight, and just throws, I don't know, it's just trash and everything. Alright, that's a wrap on today's video, but thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Also, be on the lookout for part 2 of this video, and please check out my other videos because I've put a lot of time into them. Alright, Professor Pokemon, out.